What's up, family? This your Ghetto News reporter, Mary Dash, 20 Mary to Lee. Today is Sexy Saturday in my city, Chicago, March 2022, so they say. Now, you might be wondering why I'm doing this video, like, where you can't see my face. So I want y'all to know that in the beginning, everything was black, and then it became light. The Bible has been tampered with. Yes, it has. But there's various Bibles out there, and every now and then you come up with a needle in a haystack, so to speak. You find the truth. The Bible says, "Seek and ye shall find." Now, think. This is the time for everybody to think, okay? I mean, just back in the day, they say, put your little thinking cap on. You understand what I'm saying? I did go to school for a little while, and they'll tell you, put your thinking cap on. Always think. But they always say, mean what you say what you mean. And if you're not going to start something, don't finish it. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they say, half measures avail us nothing. And you always have to remember, before a person sees the actual movie that they are going to watch, there's always trailers. Nowadays people call them trolls. And I said that to say all this because I have a lot to say if you may not know. I'm your Ghetto News reporter, Mary Lee. I became that about, I would say I had started November 2007, not knowing what I was going to be doing, you understand, as far as being your Ghetto News reporter. Because I knew I had to tell my story of being a child abuse victim since the age of birth, basically. You know, um, but when they put me in the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper at the age of 6 in 1973, and I became the originator of rap music at the age of 8 in 1975, and I presented myself to the public at a mall in my city, Chicago. I believe the mall was Evergreen Plaza or Forest City, one of the two malls in my city, Chicago. I went to a booth. I spit my child abuse rap, and I gave the guy, whoever, some money for a cassette tape that I, rapped on acapellally. Now, knowing that tape one day would be the premise for Mary J. Blige to do the same thing, go and say she was discovered at a mall. Because there's always a troll, there's always a trailer before the movie. Now, I have no problem with Mary J. Blige coming up, but I do have a problem with her coming up so long and not, you know, reaching back for the one who helped her. You understand what I'm saying? Become who she is, or who inspired her, or motivated her, or gave her a chance, because we all get a chance in life to be who we're supposed to be. But the last person you're going to play in life, if this is a movie, is yourself. Now, I gave that tape or that rap, a child abuse rap, to Oprah Winfrey in 1984 at the age of 17. This is right when she was getting started on her show. I believe it was AM Chicago at the time. And they changed the name to the Oprah Winfrey Show after, I guess, you know, her becoming a little bit better at her craft or whatever. I don't know. Um, Again, in 1995, I tried to reach out to Oprah because I know the severity and the importance of my story, and the significance of what's going on. I gave her my voice to cassette tapes, 3 of them front and back, to The Sound of Music and some other things. You understand? She could have ended it in 1995 with me, just by giving me $2 million tax free. I just threw a ballpark figure out just to see if I was worth anything. At the time, I didn't know she was worth over between 300 million and 500 million. One time I heard it was 500 million, then they said it was 300 million. Okay, regardless, that's a lot of money. 2 million tax free is nothing if you got between 300 and 500 million. Okay, now, long story short, they try to make me seem as though I was crazy and stuff to discredit me because people egos by this time were involved in money and property and prestige. And I guess people didn't realize how big, this story was going to get because it has gotten a lot bigger. And the sins have reached the heaven. And the Bible says there will be blood up to the horse's bridle. Now, for some people, some reason people don't believe in the Bible. Okay, I understand. But if you have a Bible from the People's Church in my city, Chicago, that's on Lawrence, and you go and get your McDonald card every Wednesday for $5 or whatever the case may be. They have since kicked me out because they know I know my story now. But if you look at the top of that church, you'll see my birthday 525 engraved in the building. And you can look around all around Chicago and you'll see my birthday 525 because me being a child abuse victim, and I was slow at the time and wasn't able to go to school because they deprived me of that. But I was a quick learner. My mother must have known, or my family member must have known, I would have figured it out. And sure enough, I have. But for some people, they don't want to acknowledge the fact that, I'm good at what I do. I'm not a journalist. I'm an investigative reporter, and I'm reporting my life as I unfold it, you understand, in the, you know, presence of my enemy, even where I'm at. This location, 6210 South Kembaugh Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60637. You understand? Real talk. Third floor, white door. You can't miss it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not hiding. What I'm trying to say though is, a lot of people don't want to see you make it, but I've made it. You understand? I posted my first ever YouTube video, Mary Mack versus the Fat Black Oprah Winfrey, November of 2007 on YouTube. My second video was November 2007. It was called Child Abuse, Mary Mack. Basically giving my story to the public. Now, at the time, I was under pressure and I felt as though, the walls was closing in on me and stuff. Kind of like now, but, you know, it was the beginning. And I said that I gave up my child abuse rap in 1986, but actually it was 1984. But I must say this, she met Stedman Graham in 1986. Now, if um, what you call uh, if it was about homophobic or gay rights and things of that nature, I shouted out all kind of walks of life and stuff like that. But it was never about that because in Alcoholics Anonymous and what I believe now to be Atheist Anonymous, I was in a cult and didn't realize it. And maybe a lot of people got food also and just didn't know. And they just used me to bring the masses together and gain the revenue, for, you know, building up what I thought to be Alcoholics Anonymous, but was really Atheist Anonymous. I generated a lot of money and I've been doing this really going hard since the age of 6 in 1973, like I said, because I was in the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper. Now let's just get down to some real thinking. This is the time to put your thinking cap on, people. You understand what I'm saying? Because, they always talked about money, property, and prestige in Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, I went there after they railroaded me in 1995, threw me on the psych ward, said I was crazy, and, I ended up with 2 broken ankles because I was frustrated. And I pushed this white guy that was mocking me while I was walking down the street, and I got, upset back in the day, like in 1996. And I pushed him and I broke both of my ankles, and then put me, the Chicago police, quote unquote, Chicago police, a white guy, you know, uniform cop, threw me in the back of a paddy wagon, and with two broken ankles after I climbed over a bridge in my city, Chicago. After I pushed the white guy, I ain't hurt him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? But I look back because, like I said, it's always trolls, right? And sure enough, it was the police when I looked back and I climbed over a bridge, thought I can drop down. You understand what I'm saying? But I was deprived milk as a young girl, baby or whatever, teenager, young adult, and I broke both of my ankles, okay? And they picked me up and threw me in the back of the paddy wagon and threw me in a pile of trash. And I had to get up out the trash once they pulled off. And, the spirit was with me, and I was walking on two broken ankles. And I ended up getting on a bus, and it just so happened to be, a bus that took me to Mount Sinai Hospital on the west side, and they restored both of my ankles, but they never wanted that to happen. They wanted me to be crippled, but the spirit would not allow me to just, end my story like that. So I was with somebody at the time who I thought was a friend, LaWanda Joy Jacobs. She worked for Blue Cross Blue Shields, and she was a Jehovah's Witness. Now, she knows the Bible just like Oprah and better than me. You understand? Real talk. But she never mentioned one time what happened, in that hospital, because I was under, uh, anesthesia, whatever and stuff, and they restored my ankles or whatever. But when a person never tell you, what happened, and I never asked and stuff, because all this was just a lot going on for me and stuff. Now, why wouldn't a person be like, girl, what happened? Woo out the band, because she was a part of the problem. She also told me, LaWanda Joy Jacobs, my ex-girlfriend, Jehovah's Witness, that she had met Oprah Winfrey. Okay, cool, no problem. But see, it's not about the originals. It's about the clones. See, people done got all caught up in their feelings and money, property, and prestige and who they think they are when they're nobody, because the Bible said God is no respecter of person. A lot of these people that's coming over, you understand, or who has been over here in America, my city, Chicago, for real, has studied the originals and stuff. And they know now that, they could be just as good as the originals. Like Marshall Bruce Maps III said in his song, you can do whatever you want, uh, lose yourself. You can be whatever you want. Just put your mind to it or whatever. And if it wasn't for him saying that, I probably wouldn't have been, aware of all the manifestations that I do. You understand? Real talk. Now, his name, Marshall, is in the Bible, Micah chapter 5. But I got the Bible with his name in it from the People's Church that I can't go to, because they don't want me to know what they're doing as far as, ripping off the homeless. And, they know that I am the game that's been played for decades now. You understand? Real talk. And because they don't want me to know, I'm catching hell. But you got to remember the movie called Gemini Man with Will Smith. It was two of them, a young one and then the older one. And the old one said, I'm trying to save you. And, they are messing with your mind or whatever. So he was able to get through to one of them, the one that he was trying to save. But then there was another one. You understand what I'm saying? And them two, they had to fight the other one in order to save themselves. You see where this is going? This has nothing to do with just me. It's more than just me. It's more than just Oprah. It's more than just the originals. They have singled us out, and they got another group coming in. And they're going to kill us all, for real, before it's over with, because everybody was supposed to be a billionaire. But nobody wanted to stand up for the one that brought them together. And that's me, Mary Lee, your ghetto news supporter and originator of real rap music. And until you do, we all fucked. And that's the honest to God's truth. Peace.